Hi, Rainbow Family. I just thought that I would get on here today and actually just sit and have a chat. You know, so many things have been on my mind. The past, I don't know. I mean, it was like sick for. I feel like it was almost a month. I got over it and I was good for a few days and then just got it right back again. And during that time, I did a lot of thinking, and you know, that's one of my problems is sometimes I do too much thinking, and but when I first started this channel, I talked about immunity issues. I talked about long COVID, Hashimoto's, things like that. But the one thing that I wanted to talk about as well was grief. And there's a lot of us go through grief. There's a lot of us still holding on to grief. And sometimes it's not that easy to let go of. And especially this past week, I think I only got up one video. Very hard week. It was my husband's birthday, and he would have been 70. And it's hard. I think it's really hard to grieve the life that you thought that you would have. And in our earlier years, we talked about what it would be like when we got older, and the things that we wanted to do. We talked about having the money to maybe get a big fifth wheel, that we could actually drive all around the country and see a lot of the things. I mean, you don't have to leave the United States in order to see, lots of attractions and so forth. We went to years ago, actually back when I was diagnosed with cancer, back in 1988. Wasn't so sure that I was actually going to make it through. In fact, they kind of gave me like 2 years, maybe. And my husband came home one day and he said, I just wanted to let you know, in like 2 weeks, we're going on a vacation. And I said, oh, and he's like, yeah, he said, we're going to California, because I said I always wanted to go to California. And so we went to California. We went to we went to the San Diego Zoo. We went we went to Las Vegas. We went to Reno. We stopped in Texas. It was a 3 week vacation. That's just put it all together. It was a 3 week vacation, and it was very, very nice. Unfortunately, I don't remember a lot of it because I was going through chemo at the time, and I think it was frying some of my brain cells or something, because I don't remember. I don't remember a good portion of our vacation. I see it through pictures, and then it's like, oh yeah, yeah. I think I remember that. But it was me and my husband, and 2 kids, and you know, here's one memory that I do have. And we were in the middle of Utah, and it was pitch black. I mean, pitch black, and no light pollution whatsoever. And I said to my husband, I said, pull over. And he's like, we're in the middle of nowhere. I said, I know, just pull over. So we pulled over, and I said to my kids, Dawn and April, I said, get out of the car. And they were like, okay. And I said, come on, get out of the car. And they got out of the car. I said, look up at the sky. And they looked up, and you could see every star for miles. And I said, look at this, because chances are, unless you do this at another time yourselves, probably not ever going to see this again, where there are no lights anywhere to so that was my biggest memory. And then I started looking around, and then I started seeing eyes, like off in the woods and stuff. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's get back in the car now. you know, fun time's over. so, so yes, that was a really good memory of that time. But going on with my husband, we had we had the dreams of going on a cruises, you know. We wanted to spend a lot of time doing cruises to, then we talked about cruising to other countries, trying a transatlantic cruise and things like that. And 46 years together, all those thoughts, all those memories, all those plans, and one night, it's all over. No warning. No nothing. And the thing was, he was at the doctor previously, like actually a week before, and all his test results came out good. He had just been cleared. He had a carcinoma on his nose, and he had that removed. He went through treatments, everything else, and everything was good. And he got his, certificate saying he was cleared. He didn't have to do any more treatments or anything. We went out to celebrate. And one night. So let me just tell you, make sure to tell each other you love one another, because that was something that we did, every morning, every night. We never went to bed where we didn't say I love you to one another. And like I said, it was just one night, it was over. The hard part for me from that point on was, what do I do now? My life as I knew it. We were together since I'm 14 years old. I was, you know, I was always, he had got into pastoralship, and, so everybody called him Pastor Al, and I was known as the pastor's wife, you know, or, if anybody would introduce, he would say, oh, this is my wife. So, even when he worked in the casinos and things like that, it was always oh, this is Al's wife. This is Al's other half. So growing up from a very young age, I didn't really have an identity. You know, it's like with my kids, I was always April's mom. Oh, this is Dawn's mom. Again, I don't think I had the identity of Carol, who is Carol? Oh, she's Dawn and April's mom. Oh, she's Al's wife. So it wasn't only losing him, it was losing myself in that grief, because it took me quite some time to figure out, who am I? Where do I play in this role? So after about probably a year, 2 years, well, the thing is he passed in 2020, and then I got COVID in 2021. And then 2022 was when I had the Hashimoto's, and I was diagnosed with long COVID, and I broke my back. And so not only was I going through the grief of everything that happened with him, but I was also trying to deal with the grief of everything else that went on after that. And it got to the point that I was falling quickly. And I was falling into that hole. And I was finding it was getting harder and harder each day to pull myself up out of it. And so I went into quite a depression. And I have been able to move on since then. Some days are good, some days are worse than others, but, So, one night, I was laying in bed, and this one commercial came on for, I think it was Applebee's. And, excuse me, 1 minute. And I remembered every time that commercial would come on, my husband would do this silly little dance. And if you knew him, you knew he did not have he wasn't a good dancer. He had absolutely no rhythm at all, but he thought it was funny. I thought it was funny, So I started thinking about the good things instead of dwelling on what happened in the past and things I'm not going to be able to do and things. So the one day I started thinking about, a lot of the things that he'd done that was just silly, and, started writing down questions on, what was his favorite Christmas ornament or Christmas, and what was our favorite song, things like that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put this into a book. And, let it be, questions that, So I made this book, and it says it's a Finding a Rainbow Through the Rain, a grief journal and workbook for the loss of a husband. And, it's in memory of Al. And, it was... Let me find a short part in here. And basically, I started writing down all the memories I had from the first day we met to his last day here. And then I said, you know what? That's where you guys come in. So there are so many memories we sometimes forget during our grief. And I created this journal and workbook with prompted questions for you to answer. Bring some of that joy back into your life Remember all the good times each time you open this book. May it comfort you as well as it comforted me writing it. So what it has is on every other page there's a quote in there about love and you know what will you do to keep your husband's memory alive? Add photos. What's one word that could describe their personality? Was your husband mischievous? Did your husband like animals? What was his favorite? What was his favorite sports team? Is there a particular lesson you learned from your husband? And on that one, I have to say yes. The one thing that he taught me was always clean up after yourself. I know that sounds silly, but when I'm cooking and as I go through each thing, I clean the counter and instead of waiting for everything till the end, I try to clean as I go, and it makes cleaning up at the end a whole lot easier. So that's definitely something that I learned from him. And does he have a signature saying or quote? And it was the quote was, "If the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, I'm coming home." But anyway, so I wrote this book, and I'm not telling y'all to run out and buy it. I'm just saying this is what I done to help me to get out of that funk. And when when I started writing down the answers to the questions, it brought back so many good memories. And so from that, I did that one. Now, I also done this one for a wife, and the loss of a wife. Unfortunately, I cannot find a copy of that in my house right now, but I do have that one as well. And by the way, these are sold on Amazon. So then I also, after I got done with the one for the wife, I got one for the loss of a dog, because they're an important part of our families too. So, and again, this was basically in honor of my dog Tyke, and after we lost him. And again, questions: did you have a stocking for your dog? Did you celebrate your dog's birthday? What was their breed? What is the funniest thing they ever done? If they ate table scraps, did they like vegetables? Things like that. And things that you can do to remember your dog by, maybe planting some kind of a memorial garden, making them a marker, making a photo collage, make a DIY of, a DIY headstone for your dog. So, and then I also put the one for a grief journaling workshop, for a husband. I also put that in a hardcover. So this you can put on your shelf and you can leave it there for as long. It's got, hardcover. And the one thing that I want to say, what scent reminds you of your husband? Now, I have my own book, of course. And you put a dab of cologne, which my husband's was black. So you put a dab of cologne in there, and it's like every time that you pick up the book, that's all I smell is the black that he wore. And then I had this one made into a hardcover for the loss of a dog, and also for the loss of a wife. So if you do have a friend, mom, dad, anybody that lost a husband or lost a wife, this is, would be a great thing. And, they lost a dog. I'm working on the cat. I'm working on the one for a cat. But like I said, I just wanted to show you those. And, so that's the one thing that I found that kind of brought me out of that funk. It brought back a lot of good memories to me. And that was done through Canva. And I put the book on Amazon through KDP. So, and that's Kindle Digital KDP. I can't remember right now what KDP stands for. But if you put in your computer KDP, it'll come up with I think Kindle Digital Processing or something. I don't know. Anyway, and so I went through Amazon through the KDP program, and I downloaded my book. I done all of the I done the covers. The covers were all done on Canva, and I used this program called Bookout. Now, all the things that I told you, I will make sure that I link in the bottom of my video. So if you're feeling creative, you want to start writing, there you go. You know, it's an avenue. It doesn't cost anything. And you can write down all of your thoughts. So I think I've probably spent enough time talking because I think my throat is now getting dry. As you all know who've been watching me this past month, I've been having such terrible problems with my throat. So, but anyway, this is going to be the first in a series, and this was, you know, basically grieving the life that I thought I would have, which turned out totally different. Tomorrow we are going to be talking about, of course, I can't find the paper right now that I'm looking for, which is common. But anyway, by the way, my name is Carol. You can call me Mom. You can call me Mom Carol. Either one works. I answered all of them. So, but I hope if you're grieving or you've lost a loved one, I hope this helped you a little bit. And, you know, just finding the good things. Thinking about the good things, the good times. So, all right. Well, you know, at the end of every video, I have 3 things. First one, if you like this video, subscribe. And second thing, take a look around, whether you're in your room, whether you're in your car, wherever you might be right now. Find one thing to make you smile. There's got to be something. Could be one of your kids, could be your dog, it could be a meme that you've seen today. Find something to make you smile. And number 3, as always, find your rainbow through the rain. Bye.